Ladies and gentlemen, it returns once again, back on time. My favorite podcast and yours. This podcast ends with you, episode 8. In this episode, we will be talking about episode 10, 11 of the World Ends With You anime, as well as talking about other news, merch, and of course, talking about E3 and how it was for all of us, as well as for the TWEWY community as a whole. And as always, I would like to thank our Patreons for helping us keep this podcast going, including Dark Dude, Saimatsu Shipper, Shin_Kojin, Zeta Slow, RSP, Willow, and Exilra. Thank you all very much. I love chatting you all in our Discord server that you only get access to if you're a patron. So, if you're jealous about that, patreon.com/TPEWY. Wink, 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 wink. But that's enough talking from me. Here comes another Zeta amazing episode of This Podcast Ends With You. Enjoy.
Okay.
Nothing happened. Welcome back to This Podcast Ends With You. Episode 2. That's not true. It's episode 8. Hi. It's me again. The man who never panics. The man who is always calm under pressure. If you actually want to know what happened there, I had to do a new scene collection with everything being fixed in it. However, I did not change my Stream Deck button. So when I pressed the Stream Deck button to change the scene, it went back to the old scene collection, which was busted. So,
not good. Understood.
Just a usual day over here at Amadeus _ twitch.tv/Amadeus_. Well, actually, you know what? That's a lie. It's not a usual day because it's not always that I have the pleasure of introducing Osmaneko and Myra's death. I wish I could. I wish I could just introduce them every day of my life into every room. But I can't.
That would require me living near you. If only it was that easy.
Mm-hmm.
If only.
If only.
Welcome back, everybody. I miss you. I miss you both. I miss the stream. We're back live on twitch.tv. People are calling my phone. It's all going wrong. But it's okay. Here's why it's okay. Because it's episode I don't know what episode is it, you guys?
It's episode 8, Amen.
It's episode 8. Yes, it is. Thank you, Mai. I was just testing you. So on this episode of This Podcast Ends With You, we talk about episode 10 and episode 11 of the anime. We're also going to be talking about other news, such as E3. Yes. So,
Yeah.
also a brand new iteration of my favorite game show and yours. Merch that we can't afford. There's a lot of merch that we can't afford this time around. There's a lot in there.
As if we don't always have a situation where we can't afford everything.
Yeah. Dude, I'm still kind of salty about that skate deck. You remember that skate deck?
I do. Remember that was the only major merch that we really couldn't afford?
Yeah.
Yeah. When things were simpler.
Easier. Less stressful.
Now, I'm going to say this with some cautious optimism. I'm gonna jinx us, you guys. That's how much faith I have in this podcast. I'm about to jinx us.
Oh.
So, for once, no, please, my hold the terror. It's all gonna be okay.
It's okay.
Clutch.
I have a wooden desk. I'll just make sure to knock it a lot.
Yeah. So here's what I gotta say. We don't have a ton of news this time around. Now I know by saying that, Square Enix are gonna scramble to release the game early or some shit just to mess with my plans.
They come out with a demo.
Oh my god.
Which I'm surprised they haven't, honestly.
If they do that, I am not going to be appearing on that podcast episode at all. I will completely avoid everything.
Oh, you literally wouldn't even play demo if it comes out?
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I see. Okay. Well, look at Mr. I want to be completely blind over here.
I do.
All right. So let's get started. I'm gonna get started as always with The World Ends With You, the animation. Now without Teenage City Riot. Rest in peace.
Every time we watch
Rest
the
in
anime
peace.
together, Every single time one of us mentions THD is dead, and it makes me sad.
It hurts, man. It hurts. I really I feel like shit. I just want her back. You know, I want THD Riot back, but it's never gonna happen. So for now, let's start talking about. You know what, Neku? My voice is getting tired. I'm getting, you know, really tired from sitting here and being so composed. You know, it's difficult being this presentable on stream. So how about you kick it off? How about you take us away in that beautiful way you do? Talk to us. Start talking to us about episode 10 of The World Ends With You, the animation brought to you by Funimation.com.
For once, it's not me screaming about articles that all come out on the same day and me having to take notes all on the same day. So
Yes.
who likes seeing Neku panic? Because I don't. I don't know. I absolutely hate it.
It's funny.
It is funny.
You both are working against me.
Yep. This is the We Bully Neku episode. Apparently, we're getting off to a good start.
Yeah, apparently it's finally happened. It's supposed to happen during episode 3. It's been 5 episodes since then.
You'll get yours.
So Beat has the galaxy brain moment of going, whoever designed the player pins is the one that designed the mind controlling O pins, and that's Cat. And my boy is sitting here contemplating, it can't, right? Right? This isn't how it's supposed to happen, right? And you just kind of watch him slowly fall down that slippery slope of, is Hanekoma the composer? And it's disturbing, and it makes me sad.
It makes me laugh. But also, like, in a sad way.
A little bit. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm so glad me and Mike. You know what, you do it. You do it for me. I feel like we have the same opinion on this.
It's just, I don't know why I like to watch. I think it's just because I like to have, like, seeing my characters emote. And so he's freaking out. And so that means that he's, like, he has feelings. He has something that he likes. And of course he doesn't want it to come crumbling down. So for, like, that's why a lot of my favorite characters are really emotional and I have a lot of breakdowns because they're more in depth and more characterized, right. I think.
Okay, I see what you mean. Okay. Let me I'm just gonna take that down. Hold on a second. No, excuse me, no, yeah, just gotta take that down. Where's my pen? There it is.
If you're gonna use this against me somehow with Show, that's literally impossible. All he does is yell.
Likes emotional characters. Okay, there we go. Okay, just had to note that down for later. All right, there you go. Okay, please continue.
No, I want to hear what you think.
I don't know what I think. It's kind of a tough moment for Neku as a character, right? Because Neku is at this point, like, he's questioning one of the only people he respected before he coming to the UG. And suddenly his entire world's going topsy-turvy. The guy that stood for freedom and do what you want and live life for you and all that stuff is suddenly potentially part of the thing that has turned his life into hell over the last 3 weeks. So yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense why it will be quite a struggle for him. It's done decently well. The problem is, of course, like, because of the nature of the anime, we're not getting as many of Neku's internal thoughts in the anime compared to where we would in the game, so you're not quite as in tune with Neku's inner psyche in the anime. But that's just the limitations of the form, I think. It's just limitations of the anime, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, still pretty good. Speaking of pretty good, we've been getting catfished the entire anime with Neku using, you know, flame pins and then other flame pins, and he's shooting fire out of his hands. And then we're just 90% like, all right, Neku,
fire. We 90% fire.
We're sick of your party tricks. Give us something good. And by golly, he did it. He actually used well, I don't think it's technically Lightning Rook. I think it's the one right before Lightning Rook.
Yeah, it
I
didn't
can't
look
remember
like
the name of it.
I can't remember either.
But it's the pin that evolves into Lightning Rook.
Thunder Rook.
Thunder
He
Rook.
used
There
Thunder
it is. That's
Rook.
one. Yes. He used it. He actually used a good pin. You know what? I don't think we've seen a single like fire pin this entire episode. Actually, he used like,
there was one instance of a fire pin. It was the fire shield.
okay. Goddamn shields. But like it's it's incredible. He's been using the same 3 pins the entire anime, and now suddenly he's busting out the ice pillars, he's busting out the Thunder Rook. I'm pretty happy about it. I just think it's weird that it was left this late.
He's just believable. He's trying to get all that PP, okay? It takes time.
Yeah,
my response to that is the fact that Neku had enough time to level up several different fire pins before he randomly found Thunder Rook on the floor.
I know.
He randomly found the best pin in the game on the floor and went, "What does this do?" and started shooting lightning out of his hands.
That's my headcanon now of every time Neku by the way. What does this do? Oh, that's just my headcanon now of what he does every time. Which speaking of, I don't think this anime ever shows how the hell Neku picks up pins.
He doesn't. Nope. His first set of pins, it was handed to him by Shiki, and that was it.
Right.
Yeah.
But like nothing else.
That. I had to explain where he's getting all these pins to my like.
They're not going to. They're not. I've accepted this, and I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a stickler for details. They're not telling me where he's getting these things. I think he's just randomly taking them off of people's bags at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm just like, oh, don't worry. He's getting them from noise and shopping. Okay, you just don't see it.
Yeah, just don't worry about it, guys.
Like this
please don't make us animate the shops. Please don't make us draw the shopkeepers in the shops, please, guys.
This has literally been bothering me since they showed off the Reaper decal. We have not seen him buy anything since Joshua bought ice cream.
Do you have any idea the waifu wars that would commence if they showed a single one of the female shopkeepers? Do you want the entire world to burn, Neku?
Yes! Give me detail!
Princess K really is missing, though.
But no, like, straight up, they say, hey, the Reaper decal is a thing, and then they never use it. They never talk about it again. And it's infuriating.
Well,
all that matters is ice cream. Apparently.
Apparently so. But okay, it's fine. Because there are some things that this anime is pretty loyal about, and one of them is the sprites, and we got the Beat holding his shoulder sprite, which there's a lot of that, but we finally got a proper shot of it. Wow, amazing!
It was a very good sprite, and they actually did it pretty good, in my opinion, in the anime. Mm-hmm. I am very happy with how many callbacks we have been getting from all of the game sprites being in the anime. It makes me very happy.
Yeah. Yeah. But yes, so me holding a shoulder, that's something that happened. Now, I only have myself to blame because I'm the one that put this in the notes.
I was about to ask the question of why did you write it like this?
I don't know. You know what, can you please read off what that next point is in the notes right there? Hold on, let me get it. It's hold on. It's that one right there. What does that say?
Mm-hmm. It just says more choking.
Smile.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means. I don't know why. Who would put that in the notes? Really? What? How old are you people? I thought we were more mature than this. All right.
Apparently, someone over 20 wrote this note.
It's over 20. I would have been shocked if he told me he was over 15 years old. And by that I mean I apologize for putting that in the notes. I've learned my lesson. I won't put it in again. Next point.
You're trying to throw one of us under the bus, and neither of us are going to take this bait. You're on your own, kid.
Apparently so. Yeah, and then oozing in Karya, a zombie mode. I imagine Neku, you have something to say about this because I don't. Is this kind of how they made kind of a point in the fight to sort of show the fact that they were almost zombified, right? By the way the opens literally affected them is that they were just like all out attack, no defense, even if they were punched or whatever, they weren't holding back. Was that kind of how it was in the game?
So I have a couple of things to note with this fight, and they're not very positive in my opinion. So when Uzuki and Karia got mind controlled by the pins, when you went into their boss fight, there was no breathing room in the fight anymore. There was like no moments of you have to pause and figure out what's going on. Like Uzuki had extra attacks, Karia just hit harder, and the boss fight was immensely difficult, especially if you weren't prepared for it. Yep. So when we got Uzuki and Karia zombie mode fight, I was really expecting them to go all in with this fight, like really show how Beat and Neku were going to struggle against them. And I don't feel like I got that. Maybe I'm just being picky, but I really feel like the fight was way too short for the amount of buildup it was supposed to have.
Yeah. What'd you think, Mai?
Yeah, it's one of the toughest boss fights in the game, and they really just kind of brushed it off. So yeah. It did rub me the wrong way too.
It's kind of an issue, honestly, not to be a downer, but that's kind of an issue that I have in general with these last couple of fights in the anime, is that they've all been a little underwhelming, unfortunately. I feel like a lot of them could have been done better, but I feel like this one was okay, all things considered. It wasn't the longest thing in the world, but I was trying to establish something.
The biggest issue I have with it is I actually mentioned this last night when we finished watching episode 11 with the watch crew, and the comment I made, and I phrased it this exact way, was after Show's fight, it feels like they completely dumped all the budget into the wrong places.
Regarding the really feels,
yeah, like the fight scenes are 30 seconds to a minute. They're incredibly short, and the sense of scale in the fights is not good. It feels like they're trapped in a tiny box, and they can't escape the tiny box, and they can't show them moving around the tiny box, and it's just very, very slow and very, very annoying. That and Neku constantly using fire pins definitely did not add to that for the first 9 episodes of the anime.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. I kind of feel the same way. And yeah, and then the fight just ends with when the pins fall off, which, you know.
Which that is accurate to the game, because they do comment on the fact that the pins fall off, which is exactly what happens. They beat them to the floor, and then they realize the pin's controlling them, and they hit the pins off.
And then it just works. It just works.
Also, I have another complaint to add to my long list of complaints for the anime, because apparently I'm just a perfectionist. How does the fusion system work?
I don't know. After this episode in particular, I've lost all hope of trying to understand what the hell the fusion system in this anime is. Because I swear they make it up along the way. I swear to God.
Like, at first, it was the 2 players had to be perfectly in sync in their head. And then it was they have to have the same goal in mind. And now it's just they close their eyes, they think about it, and all of a sudden they're getting max level fusion attacks.
Yeah.
But it's not even always max fusion level. They did chains again. And I was like, what? Like, I thought these were supposed to be the same attacks, but they did chains again for this one.
Didn't they establish that Beat's chains were not a fusion attack in like episode 7?
Yeah, he just used it. for like week 3 day 1, he just kind of used it. No fusion required. So
it's
what?
Weird.
Like, we keep cutting you off on accident, and I apologize. What's your opinion on this situation?
It is very odd. And I with the chain stuff, because they didn't do like the syncing up thing with the first time with the chains. It just happened, and then I don't know if we'll bring it up again later, but we see in the episode 11, gold chains. And that's odd.
That's different.
That's different. Yeah. My biggest issue has always just been why was there none with Shiki?
Shiki literally only
Yeah.
had beat you down to the ground. We never got our kaiju fight. I don't think we're ever gonna get it, and I'm mad.
It would have been so easy of just like make the fusion attack just Mr. Mew getting bigger. And then beating it shit, and that would have been cool. And then at the end, you can make it like the super fusion, they finally gets kaiju size. Like that would have been cool. But
my biggest issue with like the fusion attacks, and like it's weird with the game because in the game I literally, when I did the show fight, I skipped his second phase by just using the 300% fusion. And you know they do that with the anime. You just beat him up a bit and then you use your fusion and then he's done. And it's not as fun when you see it in anime, because it just feels like, oh, we're just gonna use this big attack that is going to end it, and it's gonna be a little anticlimactic.
Mm-hmm.
And that's been my issue. It's just the fight choreography isn't that great.
Yeah.
It's one of the things where when they first announced that we're using a brand new studio to make this anime, my first concern was, where are the veterans that will lead this project? And it seemed like almost everyone on the team is a new hire, like someone who hasn't been in the industry very long. And this was my concern. You can tell they've put a lot of love and effort into the anime. You can see it in the right places, like with detailed shots, sprite shots, certain moments in the story being written really well. But combat is not their forte, and you can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which is fine. I think it's okay. You can be good at everything. I do have a slight complaint though. Are you ready for this one? Stop showing both player pins. I get it. I understand. He has two player. These sons of bitches showed us Deku holding two player ones goddamn once in the game. Once. He was holding all his pins, and there just happened to be two player pins, and then Shiki was like, oh, you seem to have two player pins there. They showed it once. In this anime, every single time they show the player pin, they show it twice. Like,
it's weird. Like, they could have stopped bringing it up after week 1.
So you know the issue I have with Megumi looking at his hands so much. This is the same exact problem.
I don't know. I feel like Megumi only did it once.
Oh, yeah,
right?
He only did it once.
In the anime. Unless talking about the game. I think the game he does it more.
No, in the anime, he's looked at his hand a couple of times. He hasn't been very subtle about it.
I've only
But this is the same feeling I have. Like, constantly looking at his player pins and showing the fact that he has two. I kind of understand it here because there are weak gaps in the anime. So they have to remind us, like, keep in mind, 10 weeks ago, we saw it for the first time. And they have to remind us every 2 or 3 weeks.
Bitch, they showed it once! In the game, they showed it once! In the beginning of the game!
I agree with you. There's a difference between playing a 25-hour RPG and watching 6 hours of anime over 12 weeks.
Fair enough. I think I'm too close to this. What do you think? Comment.
Yeah, it's like the thing with like them only showing it once in the game, you forget about it. And then it comes to the very end, and you're like, oh crap, Neku's about to get brainwashed, and then he's fine. And you're like, wait, crap, yeah, he has 2 player pins, he's fine. And so you just have this like moment of realization, and I don't know if that's gonna be as strong as it is, like was in the game, because it's just happening so constantly.
Yeah. Megumi's literally just gonna pick up the player pin and squish it, and we're like, oh, do you have the second one, dumbass? Like the second that happens, that's gonna be me anyway.
Yeah, because I just remember being so like, the writing just made me so happy that they had been planning it so far in advance. They didn't bring it up any more than that one time in the very, very beginning. And I was just like, oh, they got me. And I'm not feeling that here.
It's unfortunate.
We're gonna come back to the subject during episode 11, everybody. Don't worry. I have something to scream about.
Well, we'll be back to this point. No. What is this? This note was not in here earlier. What is that? Neku?
Why do you assume me?
You didn't hear my comment about that?
No, what's that right there? What does that say? What does that say right there?
So
okay,
I'll go ahead and just read this note. Cat's shop was completely destroyed in the anime, and it's, at least for me personally, it's really hard to look at because it's like, oh, Mr. H's shop is gone, and it seems someone added a note that someone didn't realize the shop was destroyed before.
Yeah, because Ahmed was the one that did not realize that it was destroyed in the game as well. So I just put a note as saying Ahmed is not the brightest.
Oh wait, you put it in there?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Everybody say goodbye to Mai. We're bringing back Cardboard Mai for this one. Where's Cardboard Mai? Hold on. Hold on. I need to bring back Cardboard Mai. Hold on. Where's it gone?
No.
It's. I'm sorry, Ahmed. I didn't mean it. Okay, thank you. Oh, look, Mai, you're back. Welcome back.
If only that was done better.
If only that was just. We're skipping this point. Whatever. Catch up with the score. It was destroyed. Who cares? Right? It had a letter.
I care.
It's fine. I'm a dummy baby. I don't know about the shop. I forgot the shop was being destroyed. Tell me, oh fountain of knowledge. What happened?
That is not
what
a
happened with the
complete
shop?
statement. So your boy is a rambunctious little punk, is what happened.
That's the funniest part, is that it shows the one that destroyed the shop.
Yeah.
The silence.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Is that what we're doing? Is this what we're just gonna hail my boy now? When have I ever hated on Joshua? So anyway, the next point is that okay, yeah. So the shop was destroyed. It was a really difficult time for everyone. He just like Hanekoma just got a lease on that, and now he's not gonna get his lease back. So, yeah, unfortunate. But it had to happen to build the story of Hanekoma, because the shop gets destroyed, presumably by a very handsome math man. But
a very tattooed half man.
But Hanekoma always thinking in advance. Hit a letter even for our protagonist. Isn't that right?
So
okay. You guys are giving me heart attacks with these silences, man. You need to stop with this.
We're making sure you have no extra comments first. So as just like with the game, Mr. H hides a letter in one of the vases in the back of the shop. Side note, B didn't steal Neku's picture and start randomly taking pictures. That
made me sad. I love that in the game.
Beat's not being as chaotic as he should be, but that's just a comment on my part. You actually have to remind me of this one. Did the letter have Megumi's emblem on it in the game?
I don't believe it did, but don't quote me on that.
Yeah, I don't think it had it in the game, but it does have a very familiar golden key pin in it. And I'm glad the key pins are actually a thing instead of just making them universal.
Yeah, that is true. I feel like there's I don't know, man. This part of the game is really fuzzy in my head for whatever reason. So I don't remember quite what happened.
This part of the game's a lot shorter than Joshua or Shiki's week because it's most you already know beats. So there's not a lot of establishing needs to be done. It's literally find Iron Face, kill the composer, go home. It's a very fast week. That's why it's probably a blur.
Yeah, that's what it's the same way for me. Is that I had to go back and rewatch the third week because it is just a blur. Because not really much happens, and but there's still some good moments. There's just a lot of exposition that happens. Not exposition. Sorry, filler.
there's a lot of character moment filler, which I'm okay with, but I feel like they're lingering for too long on this episode for some unknown reason. However, there is a very specific character who does not like to linger at all, and I think Ahmed wants to talk about this boy.
I'll just step out for a second.
So no, please hold your horses. Hold your horses. I've never left whenever you were talking about your boy. Therefore, you have to sit here and hear me rant about art. Let's talk about art because art is subjective. What is art to one man is not art to another man. But sometimes art is so good that even you cannot deny it. Even you right there. Which makes it all the more astonishing to see that Neku and Beat looked at the art that is the heap that was placed in Shibuya and did not immediately link it to show Minamimoto. It's beautiful. When I laid my eyes on it, my eyes watered with tears, mostly because I was having hay fever, but also because the art was so beautiful. I don't know what else to say. It really, the art speaks for itself. You should have seen it.
Oh,
So yeah, there's a trash heap right in front of Cat Street.
Trash heap. Heap of art. See, you are uncultured. Let me show you the light of the higher, the higher tastes, the higher
I don't
echelon.
need to join your show cult, okay?
It's really nice here. We have jackets.
No, all you have is math, and I'm not interested.
What do you mean? You're not interested in math? All right. But yes, my boy, he's back at it again, baby. You love to see it. Show Minamimoto coming back. That was really loud. Show Minamimoto coming
really
back.
loud.
Yeah.
I'm gonna fix that. Coming back around and showing himself in his new form, incredibly well animated form, I should add. He looks good. He looks really good. There is one thing that's weird before getting into the fight, though, and I think this is what you wanted to talk about, Neku, is he mentions Hanekoma by name.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's weird. I don't think he did that before.
He did not.
I don't remember that happening in the game at all. I don't think Sho ever met Hanekoma at all.
I think he had to have met him, but because he's the one that Hanekoma was the one that's been helping him with all the taboo stuff. But I don't. They never mentioned him by name, and they would never I don't even know if they were on a name basis at all.
Yeah.
One of the it's really interesting for me because he mentions Hanekoma by name, but he calls everyone else hectopascals. Yes. Does he actually know Hanekoma in this version? That is scary.
I don't know. I'm not sure. The way he explained it is that the attack that he did at the end of week 2 was done on purpose so that he can use a refinery to bring himself back later. It's pretty cool. Actually, another weird. Sorry.
It's still that in the game, of course.
Yeah, he mentions that in the game as well.
Yeah. The last kind of weird thing about this version of him is that he still has his Reaper wings.
That bothers me so much.
I am so confused. I'm so confused.
It's really odd. Even I have to say I'm a bit confused about that because in the game in this final boss fight he breaks his wings. He doesn't do that here, but it's weird that he gets. It's weird that he has his wings even in his taboo form. That is really weird.
Mm-hmm.
He broke his Reaper Pact. We talked about this a couple of episodes ago when we saw him first fight them. He breaks his Reaper Pact on purpose in the game. It's a show that he's going traitor. And he still has them here. It's really confusing.
I assume it's just a mistake. Because there's been a couple mistakes. There's one mistake in week 2 that's like consistent throughout the week, and it's just getting like the countdown day wrong. Because like on day 5 it was saying like they have 2 days left. No, sorry, day 4 they had 2 days left on the board.
Oh.
So there was like a whole typo with the countdown on the Q square.
That's weird.
That is actually really weird. I did not notice that. That's a good detail for us to go check back onto with the Blu-rays to see if it fixed it.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, other than that, apparently, what else? Oh, 2 things I want to discuss actually before that fight. Show very subtly. This anime does a lot of subtle, not subtle things. One of them is just Show.
Depends on who you ask.
It's one of them is just Show looking at Beat's shadow and smiling like he knows Kunoichi is there.
Konishi.
Oh, damn it. It's so hard, man. Apparently I've been saying this all of last episode too.
Yeah.
Look, it's one of those things, it's one of those mispronunciations that I've had since before I got into the fandom. And it's gonna be hard to work on. Kunoichi.
I'm gonna keep screaming at it until it sticks.
I just kind of thought you were doing it on purpose.
I mean, I can't blame you for that, because honestly that sounds like something I would do.
I wouldn't be surprised.
But no, it's genuinely I didn't know there. So Kunoichi.
It's okay. It's not as annoying.
Konishi. Damn it.
It's not. It's not as annoying as people who call Kitaniji Kitanji, and I'm like, no.
Oh.
Kitanji?
Yeah.
Kitanji.
Yeah.
You need to direct me to these people so I can slap them.
I mean,
I don't know. I don't pay attention to them. They gone.
They going.
There was an LP I watched where he kept calling him Kitanji because he didn't see that other eye.
I mean, people say Minamoto wrong all the time. Like all the time. It's a long name to be fair, but a lot of people mess that up too.
I feel myself short-circuiting. Let's move on before I get worse.
But yes, Show looking at Beast's shadow and be like, "Oh my god, there she is." Okay. Also, the sub unironically put in "for my cause," as in the number 4 my cause when Show is speaking, and that is the worst thing I've ever seen in my life. But it made me laugh.
Okay, I was going to say, is it the worst thing you've ever seen, or is it funny? There's a difference.
It's yes. The answer is yes.
Fair.
But yes, other than that, I know I've been talking, but this is my boy, so I don't like. Does anybody have any comments about anything I said so far? Because I'm just
not really. Like,
really. Okay.
It's a lot of really subtle stuff, and it's things that people, depending on who you ask, they'll like or dislike it. Because Show looking at Beast Shadow and going, "Oh, that bothers me," but then again, Megumi looking at his hand bothers me. So.
Yep.
The shadow did bother me too, but I was like, people aren't gonna get that. My friend said nothing about it.
Yeah. All right. This episode's taking way longer than usual. So let's move on here. Real quick. Show is DBZ now. Like
Show just becomes a Dragon Ball Z character, and it's really fucking weird.
It's cool. I like it. Literally, like, instant transmission was already pretty DBZ-esque. But then we have super dashes, we have Frieza discs, we have a literal Kid Buu spirit bomb in this episode. So, it's not even subtle. Once again, not even subtle. Really cool fight. Well, it's if you can even call it a fight.
It's like 30 seconds of the boys getting beaten to the floor.
Yeah. It was really cool just to establish sort of power levels. Because this is how powerful Show is now. and it
Mhm.
makes all this stuff, like, it makes him and by extension the composer seem a lot scarier, because of how well they're how hard they're getting destroyed.
Mhm.
Also,
Uh,
I
Man.
will at least mention this. The Frieza disc move is actually a move he uses in his boss fight, so that was expected. But him just pulling out a spirit bomb, I'm like, no. Nope. That is not something
Nope.
that you do.
Yes, super taboo show, if it as it were. Very good. Okay, so moving on here before Neku gets an aneurysm.
I am.
Ooh, Neku, you can talk about this.
So Neku is finally pulling out more pins he stole off of people's bags and took off before. It's a miracle and a half. Why do shield pins in this anime just suck?
I don't know.
We have mentioned this every time he has used a pin shield. It is just garbage. Neku, learn your lesson. Please just stop picking up pin shields from trash cans.
Yeah, go buy
Every
them.
time
They're
he's
better
used
when
it.
they're new.
Yeah, I mean, without fail, every time he's used it, he's eaten absolute shit immediately afterwards.
Mhm.
Like from a bear to a rhino to Cookman to show to taboo noise to show again. Literally every time he has used a shield pin, he has been knocked flat on his ass.
Yep.
When will this kid learn his lesson?
Next episode.
Maybe.
But yes. My boys almost died, man. Like they're straight. That wasn't in the game. They're just straight up on the floor.
Well, no, like this is the weirdest part of this, in my opinion. They never meet Sho again until they get to Shibuya River after Hanakoma shop gets destroyed, from what I remember. Am I correct on that?
Okay, say it again because I need to.
I don't remember the boys meeting Sho again until they get to Shibuya River.
Actually, I don't think they did either.
So this entire section is filler.
Yeah. I mean, not terrible filler.
Yeah, that whole question
bad
made me
filler.
short circuit because I was like, wait, hold up.
I have no issue with the fact that they got beaten into the ground. Like them getting a power scaling, getting jobs, stuff like that. That's just part of anime and it's part of games, and you kind of have to have it happen. But also, this entire section is like, when did this appear?
Yeah, because like the only power skill that we got in the game was in the Shibuya River when we see Sho beaten to underneath a bunch of vending machines.
Oh, I'm gonna talk about that. I'm gonna scream
We'll
about
get
that
to
shit.
that.
I have some words.
Oh boy. Okay, he's getting heated up, boys. Let's move on before he explodes.
Yeah.
I mean, there's more of Beat just being the best thing about this anime.
He's such a bro.
He's such a bro. I love him. He just goes, ah! And just hypes himself up, and it's the best shit ever. I love it.
He's
I
not
love it every
chaotic,
time he
but
does it.
he's still Beat. Okay.
Yes.
Even though not 100%, he's a little tamer, but we still love him.
Correct.
He's a baby boy, and it's great. But also, he needs to stop screaming because Neku's starting to get his ears hurt.
That's okay. And then we get a fist bump, and then you know what? I think Mai or Neku. Mai, talk about this last point. Did you put this in?
Weird. Yeah, I put this in. It's weird that the game is ending on day 6. It really bothers me because why is that necessary? Why did they combine day 5 and 6? It makes no sense. And honestly, it's just making me a little nervous on, oh no, what are they gonna do? Because I've seen people like also having a couple like theories on Twitter and being like, are they gonna do something stupid? um, but I remember someone saying like a theory about maybe like they finished the game early, so Neku is owed a day, and then that goes into a new day or something like that. But I don't know. It makes no sense why they're ending it on day 6.
I mean, if I were to hazard a guess, it would be because they want to use that last day to link into Neo. Like they want to get as much of a new day as they can, and somehow work that into one last day.
But
to
why
link
would
into
that?
Neo.
Why was it necessary to make that like day 7 though? It's just not really.
I don't.
It
know.
doesn't
That's a
make
good question.
sense.
And honestly, that's also
They
a really
wouldn't-
good question.
They wouldn't need to make day 7 of week 3 because Neo so a new day is a whole separate from week 3.
It's
So it's just weird.
It's so weird. I feel like they're shorting everything just because they can and they kind of have to. But it's saddening and disturbing.
Yeah, I'm assuming that it's just because they didn't want to have to deal with they could cut it short by them not waking up a second time that day. I mean that episode, because that saves time.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, any final last comments on that episode that people want to say? Or are we gonna move on here?
I think we're good, honestly.
Yeah, I think it was a decent episode. I think it was okay. Pretty all right. Decent setup. I enjoyed the show stuff, obviously. But it's a pretty cool setup going into the next episode. Now we go into the news section of today's podcast, and whoo baby. Let's talk about E3. There's a lot to discuss. You hear that? That is going to be the tone of this entire conversation.
I have feelings.
Let's start. You know what? Let's start unspecific. We're diplomatic here on this podcast. Ends with you. There are no dictators here. We're here to share our thoughts and opinions. All right. So, you know what? Tell me your just general impressions about E3. Forget about the TWEWY for a moment. Just what did you think about E3 in general?
God. I just was so disappointed. It's not even that, like, it's upsetting that, yeah, they didn't show TWEWY, but the Square Enix presentation was just, I felt like they're just like, hey, here's some Marvel stuff. And I love Marvel, okay, but I'm not interested in the games at all. And so literally just the entire 30 minutes of Marvel, and it was
rough.
Moving on.
So you had it.
I'm not over it. I was sick when this presentation was happening. So I was like, okay, maybe something good will happen and I'll start feeling better. No, this made me. It delayed my health getting better.
Oh no! Ooh, yikes! Big yikes. Yeah, Neko, what did you think of that?
Are we talking about only the Square Enix conference or E3 overall?
No, we're just talking about E3. Like, not the TWEWY stuff for now. We're gonna get onto the TWEWY stuff after this. But what did you think about E3 in general?
Everything except for Nintendo was garbage. I'm going right for the throat.
Oof, yeah. I mean,
no mercy.
Just do it,
like,
man.
For my genuine opinion, at least for myself, Xbox was okay. It didn't have anything I was interested in. I saw like Psychonauts 2. That was it. Ubisoft, I don't play Ubisoft games anymore. I don't play Bethesda games at all. Square Enix conference was 80% Marvel, and I hated it. Nintendo actually had things I was genuinely interested in, and that was it. I genuinely did not like this E3 at all outside of Nintendo.
That's fair. I mean, I'm kind of in the same boat, but I'm not as upset about it. Like I wasn't really expecting much this E3. Like my hopes were pretty low, and even then, there's some places that didn't really do anything. Like Sony wasn't there. I don't own an Xbox, nor do I. Side note: when their Xbox gonna stop this facade they're doing and just make custom PCs already?
They won't.
Because I mean that's just the best direction to go for Xbox. But Xbox was pretty good. Psychonauts 2 is something a lot of people are hype about. I like Nintendo a lot. I was extremely disappointed by Capcom. I was even more disappointed by Bandai Namco, and I was pretty disappointed by Square Enix for separate reasons. But I think going into this conversation, before I even get to that, of what specifically annoyed me about those three, I think it's just important to note that I think E3 in general is just becoming a less important event for publishers, right? Or for devs in general, because what E3 used to be is E3 used to be just a showcase where everybody's saving all their trailers and all their hype to show off at E3. Now, especially because of the pandemic and COVID, all of these companies have their own presentations. Like Capcom, classic example, right? Everything that Capcom has talked about on their presentation is all stuff they have already shown or talked about in previous live streams. The Capcom Fighter stuff has been happening for ages. Monster Hunter has been having a live stream every month, it feels like.
Especially for Rise, like Rise and World being as successful as they were, it's like every month there's new content and they have to talk about it.
Yeah. Ace Attorney Chronicles is something I'm extremely hype about. I'm extremely excited about it. If only it wasn't fucking releasing at the same time as Neo. But I'm really excited about that game. But they've already announced it. Why not just leave the announcement here? Although I guess it would have been too late if they left the announcement here. But kind of the point is of how I see it is just companies just don't need E3 anymore. Everybody has their own shows. And like even Nintendo, which is like objectively the best presentation, like that didn't even feel like it was specifically for E3. It just felt like a presentation, like a Nintendo Direct that just happened to happen during E3. You know what I mean?
Do you want to know a secret?
What?
That's exactly what Nintendo Directs are.
Yeah.
The reason why Nintendo started doing online directs was so they could start announcing stuff outside of E3, so they had more time to announce stuff and to start hyping people. The only reason why there was a Nintendo Direct during E3 this year is because E3 requested it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's the issue I'm starting to run into with E3. Like you hit the nail on the head. Everybody has their own conferences and their own timing and stuff like that. And it doesn't feel like E3 is needed anymore because everything's gone completely digital.
Yeah.
And the fact that people are announcing year round makes it to where E3 is not a big deal anymore because everything that everyone wants to hear about is probably announced like 3 months before E3.
I still think there's going to be value in E3 because at the end of the day, there are still a lot of like eyes that you wouldn't usually get that are watching E3. Like people might not go watch like a Capcom live stream, but they might tune into Capcom conference at E3.
That's true.
So there is some value to it. I just don't think I think it won't be the same from here on out.
I also do have one small correction, by the way.
Okay.
This is going back to episode 10. There is a week 3, day 6 fight with Taboo Show. It is just forgetful that we do not remember it.
Damn. I should never remember that. But before we get on to the TWEWY stuff, some things that I was personally excited for, because there is actually a lot of stuff that I was quite excited for. SMT 5 finally got a release date. Hallelujah. Honestly, the Nintendo presentation was really good. Like objectively, I got hyped for Kazuya, my dude.
I was not expecting the curveball.
I was so high. I love the fact they embrace the stupidity of Tekken. So if you don't play Tekken or you've never experienced Tekken is very stupid and is very self-aware that it's stupid. Like all the characters speak their own language, but they all understand each other. It's the funniest shit. Also, anybody who anybody who's seen the old Tekken endings knows exactly what I'm talking about. Those endings were silly. And just they seem to have perfectly encapsulated that silliness through Kazuya. Like, just seeing Kazuya throw fools off a cliff over and over again was perhaps one of the funniest things I've ever seen in a Nintendo presentation. It was so good. But I'm a fan of Tekken, and I know Kazuya before, so it's kind of unfortunate that a lot of people just kind of didn't know Kazuya before this point.
Do you have any opinion on Kazuya being in Smash?
I don't know him.
Yeah, I see.
Fair.
That's the problem. That's actually the problem. I feel like a lot of people don't know, which is really weird. I thought Tekken was more popular than this.
I think I've heard of Tekken before, but I've never looked into it. I just have heard the name. It sounds familiar.
Yeah, it's unfortunate, but like I think it's a really good call, and I think it's a really great addition. What else? Let me just real quick rapid fire like the things I was actually excited about that they showed at E3. Not particularly interested in Fatal Frame. What else did they show? Oh, I have not. You know what? Let me talk about the. Okay, I want to talk Nintendo and the Square Enix presentations. Those are the only two I really kind of want to talk about. Everything else was kind of meh. Nintendo. Mario Golf is happening. That was funny. I'm gonna play that. Smash is pretty good. I'm happy for people who like Metroid. I'm happy. I like Danganronpa. It's good to see the Danganronpa stuff.
That's probably the only thing I was excited about with this E3 was more
That's
VR
fair.
content.
That is completely fair, honestly. Like, again, the comment we made earlier, Nintendo actually had something for every demographic that they fall under, in my opinion.
Monkey Ball being not dead was pretty hype. Advance Wars, that shit was hype.
It was.
That shit was hype. I can't believe we got Advance Wars back. It's pretty sick.
I can't wait to lose my life to that game on stream again.
Dude, I can't wait. But yeah, that's kind of like that's the things that jump out at me. I think like there's more in that presentation that I liked, but those are the things that are jumping out at me right now. Square Enix. Man. Like I'm kind of
have feelings.
Here's the thing, right? Before you even get on to the disappointment about TWEWY stuff, right? Just as a presentation, that presentation was not that good. It was okay. For some reason, right? And this is like, I don't know how accurate this is, but for some reason, whenever, because these particular presentations that Square Enix has been doing have been heavily focused on the West. Like in a way that I've never seen any other company do. Like they are very focused on the stuff the West likes. Like, they focus a lot on Avengers, they focus a lot on Life is Strange, and now they're focusing a lot on Guardians, right? Because that's just stuff the West likes a lot. Like, I love Guardians of the Galaxy in particular. They're probably my favorite franchise of all of the Guardians. Of all the Marvel franchises. I have like 2 posters of them on my wall as we speak.
I do love them. But I would like even I they're my favorite out of the whole like MCU.
Yeah.
But I was just not into the game.
It's just 20 minutes is a lot. 20 minutes is a lot of time.
I was excited for the first 5 minutes, but then it dragged on, and I was like, you know what? No, screw this game.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah. It lasted too long. Also, the game didn't look great.
Yeah,
like it looked good graphically, it looked fine, but like gameplay wise, it kind of unsold me the longer the trailer went on.
The faces to me looked a little odd.
Hey, I mean,
could have improved, but
I mean, they could have made him look a little bit more like Chris Pratt. I don't know. It's just,
So you want to know why they can't do that, by the way?
Oh, they can't legally?
They're not using the actors from the movies because they have to.
You have to get the rights to use the actor's face.
Really? I did not know that. But
it's
no, I do know they're using.
It's one of the reasons why mocap usually don't use the actual actor's face unless the actor is also the voice actor.
Gotcha. I do know obviously that like those are the comic book versions of those characters. I know that. Like I like Goatee Rocket, but Um,
I'm
yeah, 40
very
minutes was
attached
just
to
a
the
bit much.
MCU though.
Yeah, me too. Me too. I'm in that same boat.
I didn't read the comics, so but I know that it's like there's a lot of fans of the comics that are going to be very excited for it, but it's just not for me.
Yeah. Nick, do you want to say anything about Guardians before we move on?
My major complaint about Guardians is the fact that the Square Enix presentation felt like a Marvel presentation instead of a Square Enix presentation.
Yeah, that was
because Marvel, keep in mind the conference was 45 minutes. Marvel was like 20 to 25, and then there was more Marvel stuff with the Avengers stuff for another 5.
Yeah.
Literally 75% of the conference was Marvel.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
The other one that stuck out to me in general for like all of E3, Life is Strange. Please get off of every single conference ever.
Why is, again, it's, now I hate to use this word, but I feel like they're trying to really, attract the not so video gamey audience. They're trying to attract normies. I'm gonna say it. There, I said it, damn it. I think they're trying to get the normies in with the Life of Strange stuff, which
I actually do like Life is Strange. The first one was the best, but then it's just kind of gone downhill from there. But I still appreciate them. It's what got me into Square Enix, so it has a very soft place in my heart. Because I played through Life is Strange because I saw it and I was like, oh, this looks cool. And then years later, I found Kingdom Hearts 3. And I was like, oh, this was made by Disney? Oh, Square Enix? Oh, 2 names I know? Okay, I'm sold. And so that's what got me into everything. So
look at this nerd not playing the Kingdom Hearts games in order.
Okay, I did go in order, excuse you, okay? I heard...
You said Kingdom Hearts 3! Did you play,
No. Okay, no. So my introduction to Kingdom Hearts was a streamer playing through it. And so he started... he was going through Kingdom Hearts 3. And so I was like, oh, what's this game? And so I watched like 2 minutes of it. I see Goofy, and I'm like, what?
Yep.
And so then
that is normally the moment where people go, what is Kingdom Hearts?
And so then I did research. So Kingdom Hearts 3 was my introduction, but I didn't go through it at all until, the end.
Okay, fair enough.
So I went through it like a normal person, of course. I didn't play through them myself, though. Until now.
I am going to curtail my comments about Life is Strange for the sake of
I'll say this. They are showing it a stupid amount, though.
Well, no, I have very specific complaints about Life is Strange in general, but for E3 in particular, every single conference had Life is Strange. Literally.
It was a little excessive, yeah. It's a little excessive.
It was
like I'm not joking. From Xbox forward, every single conference mentioned some form of Life is Strange. When I saw it in Nintendo, I was like, okay, I'm hitting a limit, guys. I understand you're trying to market to literally everyone for this game because it's such a story-focused game, but please stop.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's people explaining the motion. I'm fine with it. Just it doesn't need this much time. Especially since sorry, Nick, go ahead. Fair point.
No, I was gonna say I have the same exact problem with Monster Hunter Stories 2 from Capcom. Literally every single conference.
Yeah,
same exact problem.
They need to stop talking about that game. They've talked about it at every Monster Hunter stream, and now they talked about it at length again at E3. Like, just stop it.
Let's before we keep burning time, we should move on to our actual complaint.
Not before I talk about one other thing. I'm here to kill chaos. I'm just here to kill chaos now. That's all I have to do. I hope you're ready. I'm here to kill chaos. Are you here to kill chaos? Because I am. I basically look like that guy if I shaved bald. His name is Jack. His name is Jack Neku.
But before I lose Ahmed to the void, the Final Fantasy Origins game on first trailer viewing looked like garbage. Upon playing it, it's actually pretty good.
Like, I'm not gonna dwell too long on this. I've already had my laughs on Twitter about this trailer. Honestly, like seeing the gameplay, like the people who played the demo on PS5, the gameplay honestly looks really good. I kind of want to play it based on the gameplay. But that trailer did that game no favors.
Oh, it did it dirty. That was a bad trailer.
Yeah.
I've come to kill chaos. That is the funniest shit to me, is that literally every time he opens his mouth, he says, I want to kill chaos.
Yeah. I could play the trailer. But I could play the demo. But that trailer, I just hated it. So when they said that there was a demo coming out, I was like, I could go play this. But I'm good.
I'm
Fair.
good.
But yeah, I liked watching Origins and seeing how it played. That's all I can really say about it. But the trailer was bad.
Now it's time for our actual complaints, I think. Now, I think we all mentioned this, where we don't want to see a ton about we don't want to see a ton about TWEWY before, like, basically from now until the game releases. We thought if we were lucky, we might get a demo or a final trailer or something, right? But as long as they talk about it and they just tell people that it's happening, I wasn't gonna have a problem with it. However, that didn't happen. Square Enix barely talked about it. You know what?
Square Enix didn't talk about it.
Let me show you muted what they showed off for. Let me not. Give me 1 second. Excuse me 1 second.
That is
Why
do you play the G.I. Joe theme when you fail?
Okay. It's totally fine. Let's do show and tell here and hope they. Oh, yeah, it's the same window. All right. What if we do this? Yeah, there we go. Okay. So if I just full screen this real quick, this is all they showed. Literally this. That's it. That's the clip. That's literally what they showed. They showed it without audio too, and like that's the most baffling. That's the most baffling segment of the game to use. Like, they used for an extremely colorful game, right? Because it's a pretty colorful game. Why did they use the darkest scene we've seen so far? Where like the selling point of that scene is the fact that Neku's back, right? Because that's where they revealed that Neku's coming back. That's like the entire sell of that scene. And the only reason why we know it's Neku is because he shouts Neku. But the clip is muted. So how the hell are you supposed to sold when the thing that's supposed to sell him on that clip is not there and it looks super dark and weird? As it's just a bad segment to use. How do you guys feel about it? It's just it annoys me.
There was other cutscenes that have been shown in trailers that they could have used. Not very many, but because a lot of them, fully animated like that. But why?
Honestly, what they should have done was show Rindo walking around Scramble Crossing to show the scale of the game.
Yeah.
That would have probably been the best clip possible to use.
Show me that. Show me goddamn anybody. Why did you show that of all things? It's baffling. It makes me so mad. It's not like, we're not even talking about the fact that they should have definitely highlighted the game more than this. Like, this game comes out next month. Like, we're gonna talk about Nintendo too. But to be fair, the game is multi-platform, so I kind of understand why Nintendo wouldn't talk about it. Square Enix had no excuse not to talk about this game. I don't understand it. It's why did you give Avengers 5 minutes, but you couldn't give the ones with you a minute of your time?
It's really bad because E3 is the biggest gaming conference on the planet. There was 150,000 people watching the Square Enix event, and they showed Neo for literally 4 seconds.
it doesn't make any sense, man.
They're really not doing this. They're not doing themselves any favors.
They're not, and they're like, we want this game to turn into a series. And I'm sitting here going, then market it like one.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the marketing department. The marketing in Japan seems to be going great. For some reason, they don't seem to think the West cares about this game.
It's from the most of the fan base is.
Yeah, it's
to scream about the next thing we're about to scream about. Why is JP getting preferential treatment when it comes to a game as a cult classic in the West?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. For those of you who are unaware, Nintendo Direct that we saw, the English one, did not show the ones with you at all. I expect something like this. I expected just a clip for those little fast reels. Oh god, no. Subarashi. But Japan got this. And we did.
This is the shot I would have wanted to see during the Square Enix event.
Yes.
This is one of the best shots you could have used.
This gets people look at this noise T-Rex. It's such a good clip to show. But nah. I don't know, man. I'm angry. I'm actually angry because I really want this game to succeed and do super well. And this game has been getting a lot of eyes on the community and the Worlds with You in general. It's just really disappointing seeing the lack of being able to say anything about the game when there's this many eyes on E3.
It's very surprising to me that there wasn't a new trailer, because the E3 is the big conference, and it seems like there's always that special E3 trailer for games that are coming out after E3, and it's just, why didn't they do that? It was perfect. The timing was perfect, and they just didn't do it.
I don't know. I'm pretty disappointed, not gonna lie. I didn't want a new trailer, I didn't want a new demo. I just wanted you to talk about the game and tell people it's happening. They didn't do that. I guess we're gonna have to do it ourselves. It's
okay, we've been doing that for 14 years.
You know?
What is another month in the life of a TWEWY fan?
Struggling.
I'm going to skip over my last minute complaints so that we can move on.
Oh, do you want to, Neku, do you want to do the honors of introducing this one this time?
Do I need to do a countdown, or are you just going to press the button?
I'm just going to press the button.
Everyone, welcome back to more merch that we cannot afford.
Yay!
Here's your host, Amadeus _ ready to pull up all of the wonderful merch that we absolutely cannot afford again.
Thank you very much. I think that was too loud. I think that was kind of too loud to kind of played over you, but it's fine. You did a great job. I heard you. You did a fantastic job.
I appreciate that.
Our first contestant for merch we can't afford. You want pens? You like stationery? You like t-shirts? You like money? Too bad.
Oh, actually, I have that pen.
You have.
Okay, so mine has money. Understood.
Mine has money. Da, 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 da. Next one. We have the same thing, but also for Neo. Okay, you know what? Actually, I do want to talk about this because this confused the shit out of me. I don't know what. Is this like a philo? Not a philo. Is this like a Polly Pocket? Is this like a thing for paper for documents?
Polly Pocket.
Is that what those are called?
I think that's I think it's a diorama. I think it's an acrylic diorama. I'm not entirely sure though.
No, I'm not talking about these. I'm talking about the little folders here on the top right.
Those are clear files. So
I'm pretty sure those are clear files. I think she's right.
So you
metallic file sets, they're clear files. So they're meant for signatures and stuff like that.
I gotcha.
They're really big in Japan, just in general, because people like getting things signed.
Gotcha. Also,
I got
Go
2 for TWEWY just because I wanted something TWEWY on my wall because I didn't have posters. There were no posters. I was like,
at the time.
Yeah, at the time.
Oh, also we got all the shippy version of all the characters here, which means that if we're
Adorable.
lucky, we're gonna get a version of them for this next piece of. Yeah, don't look at that one. Look at this one instead.
Oh.
Ooh, great, lovely.
Wow.
Hi. These are great, by the way. I love these.
There is-
Fine. There. Okay. You know what?
Yeah.
Even I must admit, I think I love this Joshua emotion. It's so smug. I love it.
You know what it reminds me of?
Fast.
The emote that Flora Laurels did for me for my Twitch channel. It reminds me of that so much.
Did you say Flora Laurel, the
Yes.
amazing artist that did these avatars whose commissions are open now? Wink, wink.
Wink, wink, nudge,
Amazing.
nudge. Please go give her money.
Amazing. But yes. Look at that. Look at this.
I feel like it's someone can correct me on this. I feel like we had made a comment about plushies are going to come out for this outside of Mr. Mew at some point.
I don't remember us ever calling it, but I think we were hoping.
Yeah. But yeah, no, these are, I feel kind of weird about the Mr. Mew one because we already have a bunch of Mr. Mew plushes.
It's so
and this is
odd.
kind
We
of a
have
weird way of doing this
4.
one.
It's a
There's
chibi Mr.
4
Mew.
of them now.
I don't know, this is kind of a weird version of them. I kind of want to see a different character, like maybe a rhyme or something. Or actually, Beat's not in here.
No, there is a
No,
beat
Beat's
in
not in
rhyme.
here. Neither is rhyme or noise rhyme.
Oh, well,
No, that's what we were talking about. We wanted noise rhyme.
Yeah,
Oh, that's right.
but if you open up the link, there is a beat and a rhyme plush as well.
Oh, okay. We can't do that. I think we have it in here somewhere, actually. But
Actually,
we'll
this
find
might
it.
this.
We'll go through.
I'm gonna just say this, Ahmed, just so you can cry a bit. There is a Twitter account dedicated to the Joshua plushie.
I saw that. I hate that shit. I saw that. Whoever you are that made the Twitter account that's dedicated to worshiping the Joshua plush, I am so disappointed in you. I am so disappointed
I love
in you.
that account.
I need someone to contact that account and make them DM us. I need to have an interview with this person.
Don't you dare. Don't you if you come anywhere near the Twitter page, it's on site. It's on site bans.
It's okay.
Moving on to the next piece of merch.
You're fine.
Oh wait, look. Oh, more dioramas. Look at that.
There's so many dioramas. I feel like a lot of this is like repeat merch on different stores on accident, but also it's everywhere.
It is. Yeah, I mean, they also have like little different parts of the game behind them. I didn't notice that. Also new.
Yeah, it's a full set. If you get all of them and put them all together in the right order, you get a backdrop of I think it's 104 or Shibuya Square, one of the two.
I think it's a new Nagi. I don't think I've seen this particular Nagi pose yet. Interesting. What else? Oh my god, look at them.
There's
Look at
so
all
much
of them.
merch. They're so cute. I actually love these.
Yep. Super good.
Like they're so small. I think they're like 2-3 inches tall. Like you can put those just on a shelf and make them just sit there.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I like these a lot. Yeah, no, I like these a lot. I like the show one. I like the Shoko. I like all of them, actually. They're all really well done. They're really cute.
Mm-hmm.
There's this thing again
yeah.
that I still don't know anything about. It's the
Clear files.
I mean, you lost me. Oh, this? Yeah, we're actually not allowed to talk about this.
No,
We're gonna move on.
No, go
it's-
back. Go back. You're being
No,
weird
we're-
here. Go back.
We're running out of time. I don't know if we have time to talk about.
Oh, that is. I hate you. I screamed. I was just minding my own business, okay? And I get literally personally atted on Twitter, and it was a good time, okay? What are you doing?
I'm so happy.
The fact that you had to be like personally added to realize
I'm
this was
so
a
happy
thing
for
is
you.
kind of amazing.
I'm so glad. I'm very glad about that. Thank you. Thank you, Square Enix. I'm really glad you gave me the Joshua figure.
I've just been holding out. As soon as he's up, I can actually check out of my freaking Square Enix cart.
Good.
Because I'm saving money by doing it all together.
Oh yeah, we have keychain. There's so many dioramas. I didn't realize that dioramas were this massive in Japan.
They're very popular because they're cheap and easy to make.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Mm.
That makes sense. They're all merch though. Look at them. Let them go. Great. Is that it? I think we're missing something. Is that it?
There was the Blu-ray DVD pin set.
Oh, I missed that.
No, that's not
Which a very particular subset of fans have been validated with this pin set.
Hold on, let me put this in. Yo, these are pretty cool actually. These are. What?
I actually love it.
No.
Yeah.
Segment's over. Segment's over. You're not gonna win this one. No. Stop. This
is the end of Merch We Cannot
It's done. The game show's over. We're not gonna talk about it. I'm so mad. We're not gonna talk about it.
My timeline. It was a happy day.
No! Stop being happy about this. Stop it. I'm so mad. I am so mad.
How about we funnel that anger into more stuff, shall we?
Yeah,
We're running out of time.
Oh my god, we are running out of time. Okay. You know what? I'm actually not gonna talk about this very long. Because this article was I decided to take reading duty off of Neku this one time. Long story short, if you've watched the gameplay footage, you basically know what's in here. There's a couple of little nuggets of information that weren't super clear from the other videos, but in general, it's just kind of clarifying and then sort of talking a little bit more about the stuff that's in the gameplay videos. Nothing incredibly new. There's little nuggets of information here and there. If you're interested, go read it. It's actually a pretty decent article. It actually explains quite a bit.
Which I will not be reading because I'm going in blind.
Yeah. They talk about the drop of the visa. Like, there is some stuff in here that's new. Nothing I feel particularly inclined to talk about because it's all pretty self-explanatory. But yeah, if you're interested in that, go read that. What else? Oh yes, this. So actually, you know what, Neku, you can talk about this because you're a bit more familiar with this than I am.
So there is a World Ends With You bang going out. If you guys do not know what a bang is, it's basically a fandom collective effort to have a lot of art and a lot of writing go out at a very quick pace. The really cool part of this bang is it will partner a writer with an artist, and you have to make a piece together. You have to make an art piece that goes with the writing and a writing that goes with an art piece. It has to be a minimum of 7,500 words for the art piece. I don't think there's a requirement for the art, but it's a blind pairing, and you guys can work together, put something out, and it ends up being part of a massive collective. I don't remember if they're going to put it into like a zine or not. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a really cool thing that fandoms do sometimes to work together on getting more attention on their fandom, because these can get really popular really fast.
Yes, it's very cool to see, and it's one of those things that, like, I feel like, again, as the community is sort of getting a resurgence, like, these guys have been running this for 4 years, and it's really cool to see them like keep going. And I feel like this year will be bigger years because of how much attention TWEWY is getting. So yeah, it's pretty good.
So yeah, we just wanted to shout them out because this is a really cool concept.
Yeah. If you are the creative type, please do that thing. Also, we're not going to dwell on this for very long either, because time is not on our side. However, the official Japanese TWEWY website has been getting steady updates that has kind of been going under a radar. Just updating stuff regarding, like, if you go into the media section, they have all of, like, basically any piece of, like, official media that has gone out about the game or the anime is listed here, including, like, the Japanese commercials. They also have a few more details around the battle system and some of the pins that'll be in the game, and a lot of screenshots. A lot of them is new. Also, a lot of it's in Japanese, so, you know, learn Japanese or use Google Translate, whatever's easier for you. But it shows a bunch of enemies here, and it shows a lot of cool stuff. So give that episode another look-see. Yes. I'm kind of speed rounding these because we really should be getting on to this next episode sooner rather than later. One last thing. Oh yes, this actually, Mike, you want to talk about this rather than like, you know, talk shit about me in my own chat room?
Yeah, I got it. Okay, so they the TWEWY Twitter posted out that there is going to be a real life countdown all over Tokyo, mostly in Shibuya, and then a couple of the other wards. And it's just really cool. So there's these live boards all over their place where they're just gonna show like, you know, this trailer and then the time limit. And so it's just really cool, and I wish that I could go see it because I don't know, it's just something about seeing. It's just kind of like immersion, I guess. Kind of making you feel like you're in the game with the countdown, even though I don't know why you'd want to be in the game.
It's just super cool. No, this is honestly super cool, and this is the kind of stuff I want to see in the West. But you know, we couldn't even get a trailer to E3, so you know, it is what it is. I guess
it's really cool though that they're it's being like, you can see it in the scramble, so that it's really cool. Like, they've been doing really great marketing in Japan. It does need to do well in Japan because it does so well in the West. But yeah. So I mean, but come on, give us something. Give us something,
please. Give it to us, the gamers. We deserve it.
It's very smart marketing to use a real life countdown to count down to the last episode because it is the last 7 days. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. It's also hopefully going to get a bunch of people to binge it before the last episode comes out. So that'd be cool.
I hope.
That concludes the final piece of news we had to share. That took longer than considered. I'm sorry. I got a bit heated there. But, you know, news had to be discussed. And now we move on to the final segment of Tomatoes Podcast, which is talking about episode 11 of the anime. And this one's going to be a doozy. This one's going to be a doozy in more ways than one. So, for fear that I mispronounce this name again, Mai, you want to start us off? This is about the offer that she gave to Show.
Yeah, so I'm just Konishi. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes. Can you say it with me? Konishi.
No, you're on your own. No,
just
I'm not.
no.
No, I'm good. I'm good, bro. You say the name.
Okay.
Yeah, you know they'll snap at him if he says it wrong again.
Yeah, so Konishi's offer for Show is that she'll let her Show go right on ahead through the river if Show promises to make her the new conductor. But I mean, yeah, so of course Show's like, okay, sure, I need to get past this wall. But the most exciting or just memorable moment of this moment was the whole interaction between Show and Konishi. And I just want to say, stop Twitter, okay? Stop being horny.
We've talked about this. Twitter. The fuck, man? We talked about this. Stop it. If you like that stuff, good for you. You don't like, guys.
Y'all are
Twitter,
going to horny
perpetually
jail.
horny as fuck.
Like, you want to maybe chill?
My favorite was when Show like shoves his hand against the wall and cracks the wall behind Konishi, and they're like having a serious conversation. I swear I saw 5, 6, 7, 8 posts within 10 minutes of the episode going, yo, I wish that were me.
Yeah.
Come on. No, guys. Guys,
I
I'm
saw a
not
poll.
mad.
I saw-
I'm not mad. I'm
You
just
think I'm
disappointed.
joking? I can find the posts.
I
Oh, I
saw a
believe you.
post where it was a poll. I was like, "Who do you want to be in this situation?"
No, you. Oh, Twitter. Oh, Twitter. The way you make me feel sometimes.
I tweeted out like a couple days before, like Tuesday when we got the teaser for the next episode. I see freaking Konishi in her nurse form, and I'm like, oh no, oh no. But that wasn't even the highlight of people being horny. It was this freaking moment between her and Sho.
Look, I'll show it. I'll show it because I have to. Look, I gave you guys specific instruction not to get horny, and look what you do. Look what you do. I'm looking respectfully. You would, Luca. I also a special shout out to my friends griefing me in somebody else's tweet. Special shout out to Spell Harpy and Dick Debonair, my friendos, who have decided to really make my day. Thanks, guys. Your friendship means a lot to me. It's so that was funny and all. The fight itself had a pretty cool backdrop. Like honestly, like again, like they did the whole floating above Shibuya thing, which was neat. But
I like it's cool that they incorporated it though, but you can continue.
Oh no, never mind. I guess we never mind. I guess we have proof. I guess we have proof.exe of
No.
I told you it was real.
It has 143 upvotes. God damn it. God
A
damn
casual
it.
reminder that I am the head moderator of r/TWEWY. If you are horny posting, I am aware.
If you are horny posting, we will call you out. We gotta keep this community pure. That man, you hate to see it. Or you love to see it, depending on the kind of person you are, I guess. But yeah, moving on swiftly before I lose my goddamn mind.
You're about to lose your goddamn mind with this next point.
Yeah. Like, I wrote down furries rejoice. I don't know what I mean by that point. I feel look, man. Suit yourself. All right. I'm out here to appreciate the dedication to replicating the game style. Some people out here trying to appreciate booba, and you know what? I have nothing to say to that. I have nothing to. What do you have to say to that?
Nope.
Nope.
Moving on.
Moving.
We're not gonna touch this subject with a 10-foot pole. Moving on.
You're just gonna leave me here in the hole by
Yes.
myself.
Yes.
Okay.
People
cool.
can like whatever they want. Moving on.
Okay. Good. Okay. Unfortunately, this fight was a little underwhelming. This fight in the game was like, was honestly a super difficult fight because even just figuring out what the hell you wanted to do, is a little underwhelming. But it had cool moments. Yeah, I mean, I guess we should go through the points as well. I kind of mixed that up, but we should go through the other points as well. What did you, before we talk about the specific points, what did you guys think of the fight in general?
It was odd.
I am going to hold my rant.
Okay. It was odd. Yeah, because I haven't heard what you think about this actually in Maya until now.
It was very odd, some of the choices that they made, especially on Beat's side, with his whole summoning a rhyme thing. That was odd. And just the way that it worked. Like, what was that fight? It didn't feel like a fight. They were just kind of standing around and getting whooped, and then they just kind of like, well, let's just do Sex Machina this and get rhyme out.
That's a good explanation.
Does anyone remember an hour ago when I said I had more things to complain about when it comes to the fight scenes in the anime?
Oh dear, here it comes.
This could have been one of the most visually interesting fights in the anime, in my opinion. Because one of the coolest things about the fight is the fact you had to actually think about it and figure it out. You had to figure out, you have to step in Konishi's shadow to be able to hurt her. You have to figure out that you have to stop the noise from falling into her black hole to stop her from healing. You have to figure these things out and put them all together to actually get through the fight. They literally just made her throw a lot of ki blasts, and then eventually Beat gets a family-based power-up and kills her with a super rhyme.
Like, okay. Can we talk about the power of friendship saving the day? Because, like, I mean, this kind, like, I get it. They weren't gonna do pin rhyme, all right, and that's why they had to do this. But, like, he literally, like, he looks at Neku and then he remembers almost, and he goes like, "Ah!" I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens, but he just kind of charges at Konishi.
He literally pulls a Dragon Ball Z
Konishi.
and says, "Give me my sister."
Like he just tackles her with passion, and then Rhyme just kind of pops out. Granted, the then ensuing super Rhyme sequence where they use their fusion on Rhyme was kind of cool. I thought it was pretty neat, but it begs the question of what the hell are these fusions supposed to, like, it just confuses what the hell these fusion attacks are supposed to be even more.
Like, I loved the fact that Rhyme was the key point of the fight, because that's exactly how it happens in the game. And watching Rhyme literally rip Konishi's shadow out of her was disturbing and visceral, and I loved it. But also, like, this is not what I expected, because it's a new fusion attack we have not gotten before, essentially.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah. Like, yeah, Mai, go ahead.
It's just so. Like we've been saying, the fusion system makes no sense, and this really just felt like a Deus Ex Machina thing. And why? This was honestly like my least favorite fight in the entire anime, and they could have been really good.
Yeah,
it's supposed to be good because it's the final week. It's these last 2 episodes have felt very underwhelming to me, and it's supposed to be like it's the end game. It's supposed to be you're on the edge of your seat waiting to figure out what's happening, and they're just not handling it extremely well.
I agree. I feel like it's been handled decently up until this particular episode.
Yeah, like 10 was okay, but this episode, I was just confused the entire episode, and just gawking like, what the hell? Oh, I'll get more to that later.
It feels like they're just trying to blitz so they have enough time for the final fight for next episode, and that's annoying.
Yeah. Speaking of blitz, let's move on. So Konishi is a mega sadist apparently, because even when she's going down and dying, she tries to put a rift in the team, and that's pretty douchey. Konishi, you're a turbo bitch. You were an Uber bitch. A bitch who drives an Uber, like a bitch who does a ride-sharing service. Like, that is like, man, that is some sadistic shit. She tries to like.
Sorry.
What? Oh, please.
Okay, it's interesting because in the game she does the same thing, but it's not like I never got like the feeling that like there was gonna be a rift like there was in the anime. They made a point of making Beat react more to it, which was interesting. Because they just kind of moved past it a little bit in the game. And I don't really know how to feel, actually.
It's weird. It's a nice attempt. It's immediately deconfirmed by Shiki's appearance. Like immediately. Oh, actually, why isn't it deconfirmed by Shiki's appearance? Let us know, Neku. What's up?
I felt this scene more than I felt most of the emotional scenes in the anime, because it's literally Konishi going, I'm going to take one last jab at Beat and make him question everything he's been doing. And after that, Shiki just casually shows up, and it's an example of tell, don't show, and it bothers me.
That
Like, does anyone else have like a major problem with Shiki just popping up and going, oh, this was probably her entry fee?
I hated how they brought Shiki back.
Really?
Because in the game, like, she does just kind of pop up, but
yeah, that's what I'm gonna say.
Like, so she just pops up here, but like they just kind of brought her in to explain Rhyme's entry fee, and it was just very odd. So I thought it was. The game is much better, obviously, but with how they handled Shiki in the game, you defeat Konishi and then you keep walking, and then I was not expecting Shiki to just pop in, and then like obviously because I played the game, so yeah, I knew that Shiki was gonna appear, but I didn't think she was gonna just waltz in. I thought that they would maybe go to the next scene or something. The whole being in the void thing was weird.
Was Konishi still alive when Shiki popped up?
No. Wait, hold on. In the anime,
yes.
No, Konishi died and immediately Shiki came in.
Okay, so that's why it felt weird to me.
That, though?
Regardless of how she shows up, she does. And us, the true legitimate ship, Nishiki lovers, we ate real good this episode. We ate real good. We got the fluster, we got the blushing. I expected a little bit more blushing from Neku's side. I didn't see the blush as much as I thought he would.
I think that was on purpose because he is wrapped in his head right now at the end of the game and trying to apologize, and he doesn't realize what he said or what the implication of her being his entry V is.
Yeah. But we did get a princess carry. We did get a Neku holding her shoulders, like wake up. We got flustered Shiki. It was pretty good. Pretty good. I cried into a puddle.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I cried and became a puddle, and it was I'm okay with it. I'm 100% okay
I was just upset that they didn't hug. I was just like, please, Neku. That scene, like, I wanted Neku to react more. I thought that he would react a bit more instead of just being shocked.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that.
I was just like, please. Literally, I remember when I was watching it, I was just literally commenting out loud, run to her, hug her, please.
Like, you succeeded. Show some fucking emotion and relief.
With that being said, I'm gonna go on tape here and say, if he goes and runs up and hugs Joshua when he sees him again, I'm leaving the community. I'm ending the podcast and leaving the community. I'm gonna go play League instead.
What if he cries? But except he's gonna cry. He's gonna cry.
See, I
won't have
here. I will join this bet with Ahmed. If Neku cries seeing Joshua, not with the big emotional moment, he cries at seeing Joshua but not seeing Shiki, I will leave the community.
Yeah, if they Kingdom Hearts 2 this, I'm gonna be very mad. The exact same thing happened to Kingdom Hearts 2. I'll be pissed. Yeah,
I'm not sure how they're gonna do Neku's reaction to Joshua because he didn't appear in this. I was really confused why he didn't appear. But I guess they just want that for the final episode, which fair. But yeah, it's just I cannot predict how he's going to react if he's just gonna, because in the game he was just all shock.
Yeah.
And then he was just betrayed, and then he cried because he was.
That's gonna be a very important moment. It's gonna be an incredibly important moment, just because like there's so much emotions going on in Neko's head at that point. Like it's gonna be a very important episode. But moving on here. After that reunion happens, we see my boy, my man's. He's been shot. He's been downed. But instead of having the usual sort of vending machines, sort of shrapnel being on top of him, it was something else. Isn't that right, Mai? Isn't that right, Mai?
I'm trying to think.
Isn't that right, Mai? Oh, you don't. Oh, okay. Isn't that right, Neku? Isn't that right, Neku?
So, for those of you who have not played the game, there was a particular scene in the game where Sho has already passed the barrier after Konishi, because Konishi let him through. And you find him, and he is completely crushed under a car and several vending machines, which is a very large implication to Joshua doing it, because in the game, Joshua summons cars, vending machines, signposts, etc., to fight in week 2. In the anime, they pin Sho to the ground and let him suffer by using angel feathers.
Yeah.
It's
It was a very odd change. Though I'm not totally. I don't know. It's very odd that he like there's. It was the same design feather that he gives you after your chain battle in another day, though. So it's not that they don't belong to him, because they do. But I mean, I guess the reason why we don't see like vending machines is because we never see him use vending machines. We just see a bunch of trash from Sho's trash heaps. And
our teeps. Our teeps.
But yeah, it was weird seeing Shows just kind of there suffering. But
Josh will just say it is confirmed.
It's okay. I'm gonna collect myself.
But no, it's
well, he's supposed to be dead, or at least. I guess he wasn't conscious.
The realization that I had after watching the episode was the fact that, yeah, Josh never just summoned vending machines. He never did. So they had to use something to prove it was him. But using the feathers from the angels, he only used twice. Does anyone else find that really weird?
It's odd.
We only watched him summon angels twice in the anime, and that's it.
What's weird for me is that, for me, it says something different. Because within the game, when he just drops vending machines on him, like that's all it took to defeat Taboo Sho. And so the angel feathers are way more powerful, and they pierce Sho. And I don't know, because it's very weird. But it's go.
Like
Go
I
ahead.
quite like it. I think it's a smart change. I quite like it because it adds more intrigue and questions for people who don't know. For us who do know, it's a clever change. And as you said, it kind of like it shows that whoever did this to him is clearly more powerful and that he was able to do this. Like the piercing is just it's such a more visceral image than just being like under a heap, you know. So I quite like it. I quite like it as a move, to be honest with you. But we are going to move on because we are running out of time.
Hold on. I'm going to say one thing, okay?
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, fine. Jeez.
In the game, I know that there's some like Let's Players that went through it, and they saw like these vending machines, and they're like, "Oh, I know who this belonged to." And so it's obviously we didn't see Joshua do any vending machines in the anime, but if there was trash or like bikes or stuff, it might have just made people think it was Joshua more, because I know that I wasn't thinking I was not smart enough to think that Joshua was coming back.
Mhm.
But some people, that did lead them on and make them think it way sooner than they should have.
For the anime's sake, I disagree. It doesn't matter if it had been vending machines, cars, or the feathers, because of the fact that Josh didn't use a lot of things to fight. He mostly used telekinesis. So they could have used anything to kill Sho with, and it still wouldn't have pointed at Josh.
That's true.
Mm.
I guess. But
let's move on from this point before we actually run out of time.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And then we get the, I don't know where to start with this one, but we got the Kitaniji first round fight. I'm not really sure where to start with this one. There's kind of a lot we could talk about.
Who likes more worst fucking garbage fights? I hate it.
Okay. First thing first, he brainwashes Shiki, right?
Mhm.
Using some voodoo magic stuff. So that's one thing. He brainwashed Shiki, and then Shiki fights as well. This was not a good fight. I'm gonna be real with you. I think Kitaniji's model is really good. I think the model of the snake is super well done, and like it gives a really cool sense of scale. And there's some cool shots in there of like Beat when he's summoning chains and stuff. I did. This was not good. I don't think this was good.
Yes. Was the fight like a minute? It felt like it was under a minute. Am I the only person who felt like that fight was way too short for what was supposed to happen here?
Yeah.
Like, we were supposed to have Kitaniji and Shiki fight, Snake, and then we moved on to Golden.
Yeah.
And we had two of them just shoved together, and the fight ends in 30 seconds by one of the weirdest things I have ever seen.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to jump around a lot, but it actually disappointed me here.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Shiki fighting Neku was kind of whatever. She kind of swung her arms, and Mr. Mew kind of swung a bit. Neku shows care to not hurt Shiki. That's pretty cool. Like he tells B like, don't hurt her, which is pretty cool. I don't think we got that in the game. I saw B tells Neku, look closer, moron, and it cracked me up.
That was funny.
It cracked me up that B is calling Neku a moron this late into everything. It was pretty good. Also, would you believe it? They used a shield pin and it didn't kick him in the ass. Amazing. Amazing.
Guess what? It wasn't a shield pin. It was a weird fusion attack fucking thing, because it's both of them working together.
Oh. So it wasn't even a pin. All right.
Nope.
Neat. Good.
I hated it, honestly. It made me laugh, okay? But I was like, what the hell is this BS? He just makes it into a freaking flail, a wrecking ball of Mr. Mew.
So I actually liked the concept, and then I realized that it knocked Kichaniji out, and I was like, that's it?
Mm-hmm.
That's it. That's what puts the most powerful Reaper currently available on his ass. A ball of plushies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That got me going too. I was like, are you serious?
It wasn't even, it was also like the one swing he did on him. That's all it took. One hit.
Yeah.
Yep.
Also
actual garbage.
Also, he just kind of used the chain as a fusion attack again. It's just
and it was golden? Like, Mai mentioned this earlier. The chains are suddenly golden for no goddamn reason.
I don't know.
It was weird. I'm not super happy with it. Personally. It sounds like you both also feel that way. but don't speak all at once. I know you guys are really like eager to say what you think, but don't speak all at once. You know what, Ma, you go first. What did you think of this play in general? Like one last complaint about it.
I've complained. I feel like if I keep complaining,
okay, fair enough. Oh, actually, you know what? There is something I forgot to mention. Megumi. Wait a second. Wait. Hold on. I just realized something. They make such a big deal about him having 2 player pins, and then they don't even fucking break one of them. What the?
I hate it.
What was the point? What was the point of you doing it every time? You show the player pins, and you show 2, and then you don't even break one of them.
Is it gonna come up in next episode? Because I don't know how it's gonna fit in the next episode. I'm so confused.
I have to sit here and scream because the biggest point in Kitaniji Phase 1 is the fact that we beat Kitaniji and Shiki. Kitaniji breaks the player pin, and we go, we're not under mind control, and then we save Shiki.
Mm-hmm.
We completely lost a fight, and we lost the point of having 2 player pins. At least at this point. Like, I can't make a full judgment until the next episode, but if they don't try to brainwash Neku, there was no reason to have 2 player pins.
Yeah,
okay.
It's moving on. We can talk about it more.
We'll talk about it more later. Kitaniji shows off his timer. It was pretty alright. Good way to intrigue people who don't know what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I actually liked that timer reveal.
Yeah,
it was pretty good. I sound deflated. It's just kind of disappointing. But you know what? I have hope that they could turn it around next episode. But
I'm so worried about next episode, to be honest. I cannot.
Same.
It's the most important episode. If they fuck it up, I'm gonna be absolutely pissed. I've been biting my tongue for these past 2 episodes, especially with this episode, but this episode has made me lose a lot of faith.
We'll see. We don't know. I feel like the ending of this game of the anime is gonna be quite different. But
They better have used the budget on this last episode, I swear. If it all went on Show's fight.
Hell yeah, baby. So we get this weird transformation sequence from Kitaniji. Before he goes into his gold snake form by absorbing noise now? Question mark. And he it was pretty grotesque. Like I thought it was pretty cool, but like it was pretty grotesque. Like, to be honest, the way they did it, like he became like morphing in like a really weird way that I've never seen in any place. He didn't like before in the game it was like him going gold by like absorbing all the partners. But like this,
He's getting possessed by noise, and it's just another weird thing with the whole noise possession thing that just kind of is happening for no reason.
So when it comes to this scene in particular, I understand why the noise are there. It's Kitanishi like breaking because of his negative emotions finally seeping out. But they did not have to put, and I hate to phrase it this way, they didn't have to put more effort into a Kitanishi body horror scene than the fight itself.
Ooh, yeah. Neku, we really have to do him like that. Man, you really have to do him like that. Shit. He's right. No, he's right.
Tell me I'm wrong.
No, you're not wrong.
That was my breaking point of this episode. Like I said earlier, my mouth was just gawking and being like, the entire episode. And then you show me this horrific. I was done. I was like I woke up for this.
It's in my opinion, it's a rather is by most body horror like standards, it's not like a super bad one, but the fact that it was the best animated thing in this episode actually pissed me off.
Yeah.
That and the sound effects. The sound effects were, at least in my opinion, disturbing. I'm a big sound effects buff, and the fact that like what they used actually made me shiver. Ugh.
It was just not a TWEWY thing to do. And I was just ready. I was just enjoying TWEWY. And then they did this, and I was like, this is not TWEWY. This is not at all. What? Get out.
We interrupt the showing of this podcast, the ones with you anime, by showing you a scene from Saw 3 animated in real time.
It was like freaking watching Parasite. I was like, this is not what I asked for. I didn't even finish that anime because I did not like it.
Mm-hmm. Also, going back a couple of minutes, Kitaji went gold without absorbing Joshua.
Where is
Without
he?
needing Joshua. Yeah, that's you know.
Like-
well, yeah, go ahead.
This is going to be a very short rant.
Okay.
Isn't that kind of the point? Like, he becomes more powerful by absorbing part of like a tuned down composer to reach his pinnacle form. Isn't that kind of the point?
It's
Yes.
so weird.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
What do you got?
It also makes me upset because like I was really expecting Joshua to appear, and it would have been a really nice cliffhanger. It would have been a really dirty cliffhanger, TBH. But because like when in the game Joshua appears and you're just like, huh, what? You're alive? And you're like, I was freaking out, and then you're like, okay, why is Megumi calling him sir? And then Joshua's like, okay, let me just combine all of us. Okay, let's go. And you
You get like 15 seconds of Joshua, and all of a sudden you're thrown into one of the hardest boss fights in the game.
yeah, and then just like every LP I've seen, the first 15 seconds of the boss fight, even maybe the first 2 minutes, they're just like, what? Is Joshua on my side? What is he doing? I'm so confused. What's going on?
Yeah. Yeah, your boy is not there. It's honestly weird that your boy has not shown up yet.
I was so upset. With the episode, with how it was going, I was like, please just end with Joshua. At least have some type of highlight, okay? I need some light at the end of this
Just
dark
play the
tunnel.
Joshua giggle. Give her
No,
something.
No, it's already
expecting-
peaked. They showed show earlier. Did you remember? Did you forget?
Right, yeah. I was really expecting there to be like a
Wow.
little after credit, okay? Like there was at the end of week 1. But no. I just get more disappointment.
Well, you can't win them all. There is one shining spot about this entire anime, though. Before we end things off, and what is that, Neku?
So I have a big thing about playing very specific pieces of music at very specific moments. And when I heard It's a Wonderful World playing as Neku is ranting at Kitaniji, I started losing my mind. I love this stupid ass anime trope because it gets you hype, and it was probably the best part of the anime for me so far because it was perfectly timed. It is the only thing about this episode I actually liked.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah, that was really good. I don't have anything to add to that because that moment was just really good. I feel like you've done it as good as I can. I think just to kind of wrap things up here, the episode was pretty disappointing to a lot of us. I really hope they do something to kind of bring it back next episode. Next episode is the last episode, by the way. Episode 12 is the last episode unless they do OVA stuff. But we'll see. We'll see. I'm curious about what they're gonna do in the end. I don't know if they're gonna lead into Neo or not. I feel like the ending's gonna be considerably a lot more different than what it was in the game. So we'll see. We shall see.
I'm so concerned.
I am very concerned. Genuinely.
I am not concerned. I am thankful. I am thankful for you, Asmaneku. I'm thankful for
Thank you.
Myra Zed, taking the time out of your busy schedules to come and join me here on this podcast ends with you, episode 8 in the books. We're gonna be wrapping up here. However, next episode is gonna be shown on the 26th. Whoa there, handsome brown man. I'm gonna have to stop you for 1 second. That's right, editor Ahmed coming in here for 1 second. About to interrupt myself to say that I completely screwed the pooch here. That is not the date for the next podcast. The date for next podcast is the 3rd of July. So despite whatever you hear after this part, the next episode of the podcast is going to go live on Twitch on the 3rd of July, and then going up on YouTube the Monday after, and all the podcast platforms as well. All right, now back to the podcast. Now, there might be a bit of discussion on that, because that might be pre-recorded and shown that day, because of certain timing things. We'll see. But yes, thank you, Osmaneku. Thank you, Marzed. Thank you both for joining me, as always. We are going to so real quick. Let's just end things here real quick, because this has gone on for way too long. Real quick.
I'm happy
next
about
episode is 26th. Yeah, no, I thought it was a really good episode. Yes, you can find Neku on his stream, also on Twitter. You can find Mai on Twitter. Zed. There it is. I messed it up. Excellent. There it is.
There's also one extra thing that you can find, but it's currently actually on our stream page. Thank you so much to our wonderful patrons for being here and supporting our little mischievous podcast in the corner. Who wants to shout out these names?
You know what, Mai? Take it away, Mai.
All right. Thank you to Werlo Bun, Accelera, RSP, Zetaslow, Shin Kojin, Dark Dude, and Saimitsu Shipper. Thank you guys so much.
Amazing. Thank you all so much.
Amazing.
I really do
Angels.
I can't overestimate how much that support means to us. It means a lot. It means a lot to us. Like it's because of your generousness that keeps this podcast going and keeps us protective and keeps us covering our costs and keeps us thank you. All your support keeps us going, and it means that we can keep going and doing this, and it means a lot. Thank you. Big shout out to Patreons. Big shout out to Flora Laurel once again for the incredible artwork. I'm sure somebody will plug her in chat. Her commissions are open, so if you'd like to get some avatars like the ones we use on stream, you can go that way. And finally, I've been Amadeus_. You can catch me Mondays and Thursdays streaming here. Mondays we are doing the Worldlands with you at the moment. We are getting to the end of week 2. Funny enough, which will be happening on Mondays at 9 p.m. GMT, which is 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'll stream on Thursdays as well. And you can catch me here on this very channel, or you can also catch me on Twitter. But for now, I'll see you guys on next Saturday, the 26th of June. Thank you all very much for watching, and take care.